Stream droplet degassing. In stream degassing technique, the molten metal from the ladle is poured down into another preheated ladle placed in an evacuated chamber as shown in the figure 3.5. Bottom pouring of the molten metal is desirable as it creates a stream of flow in the vacuum chamber. The sudden exposure of the liquid stream in the vacuum chamber leads to very rapid degassing due to the increased surface area created by breakup of stream into droplets. The process helps the hydrogen gas dissolved in steel to be evacuated by a vacuum pump. The major amount of degassing occurs during the fall of liquid stream, and as such, the height of the pouring stream forms an important design parameter in the process. Fractional degassing, the last one, fractional degassing. In fractional degassing technique, the molten metal to be tapped in the ladle is progressively degassed by treatment of fractions of the metal in a separate pump metal vacuum vessel as shown in figure 3.4. The system makes use of this is the system. Here you can see a bottom ladle and a top vacuum chamber. The two pipes of the vacuum chamber are immersed into the molten metal, and one pipe is connected to the inert gas argon and the another pipe here, so in from which the partially degassed metal uh, metal falls into the ladle. The system, the system uses two tubes connected to the bottom of the vacuum chamber with one tube argon connected to the pipe supplying argon as gas through a refractory linings. Both the tubes are immersed into the ladle containing molten metal. With such an arrangement, the liquid metal flows up into the vacuum chamber under the influence of inert gas bubbles blood into the base of the tube. Sketch already shown. The figure 3.6, fractional degassifying level molten metal and vacuum chamber is determined. The molten metal in the vacuum chamber is determined by the atmospheric pressure. Through the second tube in the vacuum chamber, the molten metal flows down back to the ladle, producing continuous circulation of the melt and results in the removal of gases. So this is the degassing is over. Next one, fettling and cleaning is carried out following the shakeout of removal of casting from sand molds and knockout removal of sand cores from the castings operations. Fettling includes following steps: removal of sand and other impurities. The rough casting removed from the mold consists of adhering molding sand, core sand, oxides, and scales, which has to be cleaned. This is achieved manually, mechanically, or by chemical means. Wire brushes, files, and other tools are used in manual operations, while air blasting, hydroblasting, tumbling, etc., are a few equipments used in mechanical operations. Chemical cleaning method utilizes bath of molten caustic soda containing additional reagents to react and break the surface oxides layers. This loosens adhering sand also. Removal of excess metal. The step includes removing excess metal such as fins, blisters, stumps, and gates and risers, and the unwanted projections from the castings. This is achieved by chipping. So next one, finishing of casting. Finishing is carried out to smooth parts of the to smoothen the parts of the casting where gates and risers were attached, and also improve the surface finish and appearance of the casting. Different finish operations like grinding, polishing, buffing, etc. are used for the purpose. Fettling, cleaning of the castings. So remember, fettling. Casting defects. Casting process involves a number of variables and loss of control in any of these variables can cause defects under certain circumstances. Some of the common casting defects, their features and remedies to prevent such defects are discussed below. Shrinkage defect. One is shrinkage defect. So this is very important. Shrinkage is wear on the surface of the casting resulting from contraction or shrinkage of metal during solidification. Refer figure 3.7. Although a riser is used to overcome the shrinkage effect, in some cases it fails to feed the molten metal efficiently to the casting as it solidifies. So here shrinkage cavity is formed, solidifying casting, shrinkage defect, fin metal on a casting caused by an imperfect joint in the mold or die. Remedies: use large sprue and risers to promote directional solidification. Locate risers and gating systems in correct positions. Gates to be cut as wide as possible. B. Porosity defect, blowhole and pinhole. Molten metal absorbs gases from various sources such as fluxes, moisture in sand, blinders, additives, and normal atmospheric gases like oxygen and nitrogen. If these gases are not allowed to escape, they get entrapped in the mold cavity, forming small balloon shaped wires or cavities leading to porosity defects in castings. Two types of gas related defects occur in castings, they are blowholes and pinholes. Defects: blowhole occurs below the surface of the casting. You see here in sketch A, blowhole just below the surface, blowhole has occurred, and it is not visible from the outside surface. So on the other hand, pinholes are small gas cavities. Many number are at slightly below the surface of the castings. Refer figure 3.8b. Pinholes. There are number of casting pinholes, but they are very small. Remedies: avoid excess ramming of mold, provide proper vent holes, avoid use of excess carbonaceous or other organic materials in the sand core binders because these materials react with molten metal producing large amount of gases. C. Mishran. Mishran occurs when the mold cavity is not completely filled with the molten metal. In other words, it is a defect wherein a casting solidifies before the molten metal completes filling the cavity. Figure 3.9. You refer this one. Remedies: fluidity of metal should be maintained suitably. Pouring rate and time should be controlled. Thin sections should be suitably designed. D. Penetration. When fluidity of the liquid metal is high, it may penetrate into the sand mold or core into the voids between sand particles. A fused aggregate of metal and sand appears on the surface of the casting, leading to defects. Refer figure 3.10. Solidified casting. Okay. Yes, penetration. Remedies. Sand should be properly rammed. Molding sand or core sand should not be too coarse to promote metal penetration. Control proper metal temperature. Fluidity of molten metal should be maintained suitably. Suitably. Next one, mold shift. It is a step produced in the casting product along the parting line due to the sidewise relative displacement of cope and drag box. Figure 3.11 shows it. Mold shift. Remedies: proper alignment of cope and drag box, proper handling of assembled cope and drag box during operations. Cold shut. See, next one. Two portions of the metal float together, but lack of fusion due to the premature freezing results in a defect known as cold shut. So this one cold shut you can see here. So this place it is empty, completely empty means the molten metal has freezed already before reaching that place. Remedies: place gates and risers at proper locations at these locations. Metal fluidity should be high. Hot tears. Next one, hot tears. A hot tear is an internal or external ragged discontinuity formed in the casting due to the pulling action of metal just after it solidifies. Pulling action of the metal. So hot tear you can see here one in the figure. Remedies: provide adequate fillets at sharp corners while designing the component. Proper metallurgical and pouring temperature to be maintained. Place gates and risers at suitable locations.